Whenever you're ready.
Hello, gentlemen. My name is Robert Cervantes, sales representative at Harlingen TCI 616, and today I want to talk to you guys about the cam specs that we can offer at TCI. As you know, TCI is a Michelin retread dealer at MRT, so we have a lot of programs in place to help you get the most out of your tire investment. What are cam specs? Since you don't have them in place yet, I'm going to go over a little bit of what they are. They're a customer asset management. We also call them casing asset management. The casing is whatever's left of the tire once you use the original tread. Everybody in this industry is always looking to get a return on their investment. Most of the time, companies don't look at tires or casings as an investment, but today I'm going to show you why they are and how we can take the most advantage of that. This is a scrap pile. Every day in what I do, I'm out in fleets looking at tires, doing some analysis. We call them scrap analysis. And I see tires that have been deemed unusable, that are RARs or blowouts. Casings deemed unusable, usually it's by the technician who takes the tire off, or somebody, or the driver that says that tire's no good anymore. RARs are tires that are being returned back from the retread plant that were deemed that weren't retreadable because of the specs that were on that tire at that moment. And tires that are blowouts, can't do anything with those. One of the biggest responses we get is, well, it's just a tire, you know. They're actually assets. Michelin guarantees 3 retreads on some of the lines that they carry. So every time you retread a tire, you know, you're getting a little bit more money out of that tire. Now, whenever you have to go purchase a casing, they're usually within $100 per casing. Okay, so if you scrap a tire just because somebody said it's no good anymore, you're losing out, you know, on a lot of money that you could get back. So what our suggestion is, let the MRT experts determine the retreadability of that tire, or determine if it's something that's not usable anymore. The process is pretty simple. What we do is we develop specifications tailored to your fleet. You know, not all the fleets are the same, so there are different uses on different kinds of tires, different kind of casings. What we do is we set up your profile at the plant, whatever you want to put on your tires, the way you want to use them, as long as you want to use them, and those are the specs I'm going to talk about. But every tire, once we pick it up from your yard, is going to have a barcode. That gives us the opportunity to track your tire, collect data from it, and also give you that data back so we can keep going forward and tweaking the data so that we can get the most out of your dollars. Not only that, the data will also be collected on the tires that we do not retread. Okay, so that's also important. The first suggested specification that we can modify is the casing specification. We all know nowadays there's 100 Chinese brands out there, and we all know that they're not really that dependable. So we're going to assign specific brands for trailer use only. Once they're done, the original tread is gone. We're just going to deem those tires are going to be used only for trailer uses. Why? Because it's not as heavy tread, and it doesn't take as much abuse on a trailer. We're only going to allow 2 maximum retreads for import casings. If you notice on MRT, the standard is 3, but on this particular casing, what we're going to do is going to drop it to 2. That way we minimize the risk of that tire being a failure out on the road. And we're going to allow a 4th retread on grade A casings. Like I said, most of the casings that Michelin produces now are grade A casings, are the best casings out in the market. So what we can do is we can expand a little bit of that tire. We can use it a little bit longer. We're gonna tweak the age restriction. The MRT default is 7 years. So that means once the tire's manufacturing date, we can only use it for 7 years, or that's the suggested date from MRT. We're gonna limit that on import casings to just 6 years. You know, we're not gonna risk another extra year of possible failure on the road. But on the grade A casings, we're just gonna extend it to 8 years. So that'll give us a little bit more use on that tire. We also have another metric. It's called maximum retreads allowed, or NTR. On grade A casings, they can be retreaded 4 times. We're going to do that 4 times, but we're going to tweak this a little bit. Most of the time, what dealers do is they retread the tire one time for traction and 2 for the trailer. We're going to go ahead and try to doing 2 drive retreads and 2 trailer retreads on a grade A casing, and on a grade B casing, we're only going to do it 3 times with 1 drive and 2 trailer retreads. And finally, we're going to put limitations on the repairs. We're going to modify those repairs, allow 10 nail hole repairs. Most of the tires that go through our system need repairs, but the MRT repair system is 100% better than anybody out there. So since we are so confident on our repairs, we're going to allow 10 repairs. And we're going to allow a maximum of 2 section repairs. Section repairs are repairs that are, that require a lot more work on them. So we're going to limit that to 2. So how does that make me money, right? Well, we have a fleet that I work on. I've been working on it for 4 years. This is one of the data that gets reported back to them. You will get that same data. In 2012, almost 28% of the tires were being rejected. We started to implement these specifications and started to tweak the specs. We gained a little bit of traction in 2013. We got down to 26 rejection. But as the years came by, we're dropping that number considerably. And in 2015, we're down to 12% rejection by using these metrics now. This company averages 500 retreads per year, like you guys do. So if we take those percentages and bring them down to what real numbers are, these are the numbers that we're getting, okay? So these are the tires we're being rejected. Even though we're doing better now, those tires still have to be replaced. We got to get more tires into your fleet. So what we're going to do is we're going to see how much a cap and casing would cost to replace. And if in 2012 you needed 138, that'll cost you about $31,740. In 2015, we only needed 60. That cost $13,000, which is savings of about $18,000. So that's one of the differences in the way that we do our retreading. And like I said, these are the main 4 things that I want to focus on. There's a lot more things that we can do, but for this particular fleet, this is one that I want to concentrate on. Establish better casing specifications, the age, the times retreaded, and the repair specifications. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, sir.
On the savings you had from year to year, are y'all doing the fleet inspections and doing the recommendation pull-offs?
Like I said, remember that I mentioned that the retreads and the rejected tires, we collect all that data. That's the way we're able to find out which ones. There's going to be avoidables and unavoidables. So, there is going to be a difference, but the savings is still considerable. Anybody else? Yes?
On your slide where you had the rejects by year, you started out in 2012 like 28%.
Yeah.
It took so long to get down to where you're only rejecting. I mean, if you put these things in place, what was the long delay? Several years.
Well, the data, the tires have to run about 80,000 miles. So by the time we get those tires back in and keep using them for service, pushing them back into the fleet, we have to collect the data after, years of keeping the tires in rotation. I don't know if I explained myself correctly. But yes. Yeah, time. Yes, sir.
The same tire repair again?
Well, that is an amount of 500 total tires that we did. That means that we retreaded 500 of their tires, but 138 of them we couldn't get them back, because they weren't retreadable again, or because we decided that it needed too much work to put back into service, or because maybe the technician said, I don't think that tire's any good, period. But once we get that tire back, we decide if it's still usable. And since we expand the metrics, we can say, well, for the type of service this trailer does, we can use it one more time. So it's back into rotation and we can keep using that tire.
If you do deem a tire good for my trailer and what I use it for, and I go out on the road and have a failure, do you cover that?
Yeah, we have a warranty that's 16 weeks, 100%. Not only do we replace your cap, the money that you spent on buying the cap, we also replace the casing. Because once we pass it through our plant, we're certifying that that tire is usable.
You have a process if you come to my yard, and I have a bunch of auto and light truck and passenger tires along with my retread. Do you have a process to go and check those, say, quarterly or monthly or?
I'm sorry, I didn't get your question.
Yeah.